This video is about choosing a set of standard criteria to make judgments by. And in this case, we'll use SMART criteria. You can read about this if you'd like. I like to keep these videos to about 5 minutes, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. SMART criteria basically stands for specific, measurable, assignable, relevant, and time-oriented. And the two examples we'll use again are the crow in the picture that represents a motivated tactician, and the fox in the grapes, which represents a cognitive miser. So that's what we're really trying to lead to. These psychological models are what we're trying to lead to, and we're trying to use very simple examples to make it clear. So let's take a look at how this works. The crow is trying to obtain some water by dropping pebbles into a vase. Each pebble displaces the water. So that's something that's very measurable. And the way this file is broken down is it has what we call an information tree at the very top. And the very first information tree is story. The second is reason, cohesion. But the first branch under the story tree are standards. So let's take a look at the standards. This picture here shows a relationship between standards and the subordinate items, which are called twigs. What we really care about right now is SMART criteria. So what I've done here is I've rearranged the items under SMART to show how important they are to the crow. So measurable is first, which doesn't match the order of SMART, obviously, but it reflects what's important to the crow. And the second thing is time related. If time was the most important thing to the crow, then we would just move it first. So now let's follow these dots, because each of these information dots can be connected to other ones, and that connection represents a mental process. So let's see where the SMART criteria takes us. It wants to bring us to goal-oriented motivated reasoning. So let's go take a look at that. And what we find is goal-oriented motivated reasoning is a leaf of the tree, and it's under the motivated tactician branch. Now let's follow this link again and see where it takes us. And it looks like this is the end. So we've followed that path. So we've gone from SMART. So let's come here, SMART. And that brought us to goal-oriented motivated reasoning. So that's the sequence of thoughts that you need to, that this example illustrates. Now let's click on the information button here, and let's see if we can find out about motivated reasoning. Here's the background. You can read that if you'd like, but it's not really that important right now. More important are the steps in the mental process. So by having standard criteria, we do things in a consistent manner, and that helps us make decisions with less error. Let's take a look at the fox and the grapes, and we'll go to standards, and we can see here that the fox, in this case, didn't take advantage of the most useful thing to him, and that would be assignable. The fox couldn't jump high enough, so he needed some help, and that's what assignable means, is you get someone to do something for you that you can't get. But instead, what the fox did was he just had a very strong degree of belief, like conviction level, the highest level, that he could get those grapes, and he was determined to get them without any secondary thought. Another thing that was really important is the degree of emotion. The fox was, really wanting those grapes badly, so that kind of overrode using any kind of standard criteria to make a decision. And the last information twig was degree of expectation. The fox had a very high level of expectation. So because the fox didn't use the SMART criteria, he acted on impulsiveness. So with the crow, the example followed a different path. So let's see where impulsiveness takes us. This takes us to the need for quick action twig. And let's take a look at this here. This is under the filter branch. And filter is a nice way of saying a bias. And this type of bias is not like being prejudiced against a race. It's more about your tendency to think. And in this case, what was most important to the fox was just to take quick action. His need for quick action really influenced the way he thought. And there are other types of cognitive biases, like information overload. If someone is telling you too much, you're just going to shut down. Or if someone's talking about something you're not interested in, like insufficient meaning, you're just not going to care. So let's see where impulsiveness takes us. It takes us to a consequence. And the consequence here is psychological. And the net effect was that the fox suffered from cognitive dissonance, which basically means rationalizing. And rather than accept the fact that the fox could never reach the grapes, the fox just rationalized the whole experience away by saying the grapes were sour, even though he really had a high desire for those from the very beginning. So here we've mapped out our mental process from the start to the beginning. And the main reason we had a bad consequence was because we didn't use a standard set of criteria to judge a decision.